Broadcasting live at Ron's Pizza on South Main Bellefontaine and at PeakofOhioTV.com, it's time for Chalk Talk. Here's your host, Tyler Avila.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome out here to Chalk Talk live at PeakofOhioTV.com. I'm Tyler Avila. Got a great show lined up here for you on this March 15th edition of the show. Out here at Ron's Pizza on South Main, you can call or come in for dine-in. Number to call is 937-292-7775. And kicking off our show this evening is a local pro disc golfer. His name is Nate Hecker. Nate, thanks for coming out. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, disc golf. How did you get into the sport? What do you like about it?
I got into it about 7-8 years ago. A bunch of my buddies. Shout out to Anthony Snap, Preston Henry, Garrett Jenkins, all my homies from high school. We're literally playing, and I was at the pool, and they just told me to come out and throw, and I fell in love with seeing the disc fly and just played for fun. And then once soccer ended in college, I just said, all right, let's see what disc golf does, and that's why I like it so much.
So soccer in college, you from what I understand, you go to school at Ohio Northern, right?
Yes.
Out there in Ada. So what's it like being a college student but also being a professional athlete?
I just had to experience it this past week with Texas. It's not fun. It is not fun. Doing homework and trying to play and just all that kind of stuff is just a little different than what I would expect, but it's definitely hard, like keeping track of your schoolwork and then going out and doing practice rounds and seeing all your buddies on tour. For sure. So let's go back to the whole soccer thing. So you played soccer in college. You play in high school? Yes.
Okay.
Played here in Bellefontaine.
So you went to Bellefontaine. What year did you graduate?
2020.
2020. All right.
COVID year.
COVID year. Gotta love that, right? So talk about life, because this is our first time meeting together. So just kind of talk about how you grew up, what life was like, what high school soccer and all that. Just kind of talk about you.
Yeah. So I started back in when I was like 4 playing soccer, and then ever since till I got up to sophomore year of college. But I would travel around with Elite FC in Marysville, club team, Classic Eagles in Columbus. Soccer was just my life. That's all I would do year round. If I wasn't touching a soccer ball, people would kind of ask what's going on, like why is Nate not playing soccer type of thing. And that's how it was. And then here at high school in Bellefontaine, we had a really good class, and we ended up winning 2 conference championships, first in history, and a couple records broken. Just we were a tight-knit crew, and it was really awesome.
Sweet. So what led you to ONU?
Honestly, soccer.
Yeah.
I wanted to play soccer, and at the time they were a really good team, and they just recruited me, and I really enjoyed it. Dante George, that's there now, about to graduate. He's one of the homies, and he was like, dude, you got to come here and you got to play. Like we can have a good, successful 4 years, and academic wise, they're really good for academics. So it was just a complete package.
So on the academic side, were you there at ONU to learn? Where are you studying?
I'm right now in communications.
Okay.
I'm just getting through college. So I want to play. I want to travel and tour so badly. And communications, you can do basically anything with.
That is true. That is true. You can be here in my chair with communications.
Exactly.
So obviously your main focus is getting through school so you can get out and tour, like you said. But I mean, why'd you pick the communications realm? I mean, like you said, you could do anything. But what was your main focus mainly?
I like sports. Like I love sports. I'm a huge soccer fan, so I'll watch the Premier League on Saturdays and Thursdays and Wednesdays, everything soccer. I love breaking down that kind of stuff, and I wouldn't mind like a commentator or something later on down the line, or like commentator in disc golf. And there's just a bunch of things that I feel like I could do involving sports, because I just love sports in general. Now,
it seems like disc golf has really skyrocketed in maybe, last 15 years, it seems like?
The past 2 years.
Really?
It's been huge. Ever since COVID hit, there's 250,000 members in the PDGA, which is huge.
Jesus.
Like, when I signed up in 2017 for my number, I'm 93475, and now it's 2023, 6 years later or so, and it's 250,000. Like, it's insane how much it's grown in the past, 5-6 years.
That is nuts. That is nuts. Why do you think so? Why do you think that it's skyrocketing as it is?
I think it's it's cheap at the start. Once you get to my shoes, you just spend money, and my mom can attest the amount of times I've come home with disc, and she probably wants to beat me a couple times, but it's very addicting once you get into it. But it's cheap, and it's useful for everybody. Like, I know people that are playing at the age of like 6, 7 years old, and people that are playing when you're 70. Like, anybody can do it. It's a family thing. Like, it's not too hard on the body for people, and well, it's not, like I said, it's not expensive. So it's just that's why I think a lot of people should look into disc golf.
So we have a disc golf course here in Bellefontaine, Blue Jacket, or Maritana, excuse me. Talk about just having that home course here.
It's been nice because, like, all I have to do is drive 3-4 minutes over, and all the guys in the crew. Shout out to the High Point Hyzers Club. Those are my guys. Mike Nichols specifically, Jeff. I got so many of those guys and that crew that's helped me out to travel around, and like, one beat me up when I was younger, and then now they can't do so much. But it's definitely fun, like, having a crew around here and having a local course that you can, like, go and practice with, and like, there's people going to be there that's going to help you out, and you can help them out, and it's just a tight-knit community.
So when did you start becoming serious about this? Because as we mentioned, you stopped playing soccer sophomore year of college, and you wanted to focus in on disc golf. So what was your decision? Why'd you stop playing to focus in on disc golf?
Well, injury-wise was soccer. I had knee surgery and hip surgery within 2 years.
Oh, wow.
So it was just kind of like a look back on reality, like, is soccer really what I want to do? And disc golf was always there. And I always told some of my friends, I was like, after college, I want to go pursue it. I want to see what it does because it's competitive. I can be competitive. I have to put in some work, and it allows me to focus in on something. So that's kind of what I did. But I took it serious, honestly, right when COVID hit, because I got hurt with my knee in college. And then I really didn't touch a soccer ball that summer, and all I was doing was playing disc golf. And I noticed that I could make some big strides and do some big things with it. So I just kind of stepped into it, and now I'm at where I'm at.
So obviously becoming a pro and getting paid for things, is that kind of the reason why you had to stop playing soccer? Like, how does that all work, being a college athlete or college kid and doing this professionally?
There wasn't many issues.
Really?
Like NCAA, they didn't. I think it's more of like the player side, like promoting your brand. But like, we looked it up because we wanted to make sure, me and my mom wanted to make sure, like, okay, if I go and win like $700 one weekend, like,
right.
Is this illegal? But it wasn't in some of the rules. So it was pretty much I could just go play disc golf in the summer and train in the summer for soccer, and it just all kind of added up in the end.
So with that, you had your first big trip to start off the season last week in Texas. What was that like?
It was awesome. I've never flown out for disc golf. So
Really?
Flying out for disc golf for the first time, carrying 2 disc golf bags, and you could tell I was just walking through, and people were like, "What?" Just looking at you, like, "What are those? Like, why is he carrying 2 bags?" It just didn't look normal, but it was awesome. I got to hang out with my buddy Corey Ellis. It's been taking me under his wing a lot this past year so far. Once I got on to Discraft, and then Ricky Wysocki, he ended up staying with us, and he's world #1, and it's fun to listen to what he has to say. And like, I got to hang out with him, and we just watched sports and talked about disc golf, life, and everything. So it was awesome just to also see my buddies, like all my buddies that I met on tour last year. I was seeing them, and they're like, "Hey Nate, how's it going?" Like, I got to, just feel like home once again.
So how'd the tournament go for you?
It was good until the final round. I was up there at 29th, and I played solid, and I definitely like noticed all the work I did in the off season was paying off, and then it just felt like everything wasn't going my way final round, and mentally is the hardest part of disc golf.
Oh, yeah.
And I felt like I broke down a little bit, but it wasn't much that I kept trying to push, and I knew I wasn't going to cash, which sucked at the point that I was at, but it went really well for my first tournament of the year and stepping up against these guys that are, getting paid the big bucks. So I was very happy with how it went, and it taught me a bunch of things that I'm going to take into this year, and that I know I can compete with some of them, but I know there's some small steps I got to take first.
Who's been your biggest supporter during all this?
Honestly, my family. My mom and dad have helped me out a lot with funds, helping me get out to these tournaments and pushing me and texting me, and
Mom's over there doing this.
You don't want to see this. Helping me out a lot, but they've really been my supporters since I was a young kid playing soccer. So I can remember the times where my mom would drive to Columbus just to take me to a soccer game, and then she'd be doing homework. I'd come back, and I'd be like, oh, my gosh, you're doing homework, of course. But, yeah, they've been my biggest supporters for sure.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What have you learned about yourself throughout this? Because, I mean, dropping soccer in college, something that you, I'm sure, wanted to do in high school and maybe younger years to pursue this. Just talk about that decision, that big life change.
It definitely was huge because soccer is a big team sport. So it was like you're going from a team sport to an individual sport. So it was more of like I had to grow individually by like, okay, like I can put in the work and I got to rely on some teammates to where every work that I do is going to either pay off or it's going to hurt me in the end. So it's kind of it's helped me grow into, I feel like, a more independent person in a way with everything that I do. But it's just been it was a huge life switch knowing that every week means something. Like if I don't cash, then maybe that next week I either have a place to stay, but the place I have to stay is paid for by that tournament I'm playing in. So it's kind of like every single step is just taking a big. It's just big in general.
So how many tournaments were you playing this year?
So it's probably going to be around 20. But
wow,
I'm gonna pick. I'm looking at some others depending on how the tournament season goes, and then some other sponsors that I'm with. Like hopefully working out some things. Like Hazy Shade, I know down in Dayton, I know this year, I'm gonna have a little Tour Series disc that they ran like they did last year. One of the other sponsors I have, Drive Bags. They're like a kind of like a pitching bag in a way, like one of those things, and I have couple of those on order with some of my stuff on it just to sell and help out, and yeah, just a bunch of that stuff. But I don't know, hopefully 20, but maybe a little bit more, maybe a little less, just depends on injury wise and how healthy I really stay.
So talk about those sponsors, and I also know you're part of a team, right? So just talk about how all that came to be.
So I'm with sponsor wise, I got Team Discraft, which is my manufacturer, which are the people that produce the disc, and I got onto that with Blake Schaefer and Schaefer Sports down in Springfield, and I met Blake last year, and I told him how much I wanted to be on Discraft, and he really helped me out this year of just telling Bob, our team guy, was like, yeah, hey, this kid wants to be on it, like, here he is, and Bob took a chance in me, and I'm hoping that it can pay off. And then Hazy Shade is my retail down in Dayton, and Jeremy Panucci does a ton for me and helps me out a lot. Of course, with the fundraiser disc, and just last year helping me kind of, I guess, blow up in a way locally. Drive Bags, which the pitching bags, I met those guys last year in Illinois, and they were super welcoming and super nice, and I really like their product, so I'm happy to push them. Birdie Bud Dyes in Urbana. Travis, I've known him for a while, and last year he kind of hinted at me. He was like, come on, I want to dye some discs for you. Like, and I was with a different dyeing people, but this year he texted me like last week and was like, hey, you got anybody? And I was like, no. And he was like, okay, I want to sponsor you. And I was like, okay, I'm down. And he dyed 4 discs for me.
Oh wow!
4 days before I left on my plane for Waco. So it was kind of cool. And then I'm trying to think of everybody else. Discura. So it's a little apparel company down in Virginia, and they've been really helpful. I have the jersey at home. I should have worn it tonight, but it's really cool. They got my stamp with Discraft on the back, and they're really, really good people, and I've had some good conversations with them, so it's kind of
nice.
Kind of nice.
That's awesome, dude. That's really cool.
Yeah.
What would you like to see happen with this?
With disc golf? For me, in general?
Yeah.
I really want to make it my career. Like, I know it's going to be a lot of work, and like I said, talking to Ricky and Corey and all these guys, but I would love to see it kind of take over that profession where I can just go on the road every week and just hit, starting in Vegas in February and ending in Maple Hill in Massachusetts in September, October time. Like, it'd be really cool if I could get that, because I know as a kid I really wanted to do something professionally, whether it was soccer or whatever I got into. So I really want it to be that, but if not, I know I want to make disc golf something a part of my life. Whether that means I hop on commentary on Disc Golf Network or work on Disc Golf Network, that kind of stuff would be really cool.
They have their own network?
Yes. Yeah, it was kind of cool. My first Pro Tour tournament last year in Kentucky, I ended up getting on coverage.
Really?
It was really cool because all of the time I was just a fan.
Yeah.
So I'd literally just be watching on my phone, and then all of a sudden I get done with my round, and my mom's texting me, my dad's texting me, "No, you got on coverage. Like the camera was there. They got you." And I was like,
That's
I
awesome.
didn't play well, so it was kind of like a boost that I got to be in front of people, and it was kind of a cool experience just to watch
Oh, for
yourself
sure.
on tape, and you're like, I was that kid watching it 5 years ago, so it was kind of cool.
That's pretty sweet. So, what's maybe because you've been playing for a long time now, right? About what 7,
7, 8 years or so.
around there. What's one thing that you maybe were good at to start off, and what's one thing that maybe you're still working on as you continue this career?
One of the things I was good start-wise in my game was putting. I've always been, I feel like, a really solid putter, and I've always been told by Mike Ross, one of the guys in the club, it was like, drive for show, putt for dough. He's like, you're not going to make any money if you don't putt. You got to learn how to putt. So, excuse me. So it was kind of that way, and then my driving's always been kind of my, like, off the tee I've really struggled, and so this past offseason I worked a ton on it, and hopefully that's where I can get to this year. And I know I saw very big improvements at Waco. I was throwing really well off the tee, but putting again was just shaky, and it was just so close. But that's my goal is to get my driving, and if I can click my driving and my putting together, then I know I can take on anybody.
Oh, wow. So I know with actual golf, they have different clubs, right? So with disc golf, are there different discs that you guys use?
Yeah, so you have distance drivers, which are your 10, 11 to 13 speeds, and then you got fairways, which are 10s to 6, and then 5 to 4 is mid-ranges, and then 3 to about 1 is putters. And so every disc does a different thing. Once you throw it a couple times, and it flies differently and all that kind of stuff. So I have way too many. I'll say that. I'll own up to that. But yeah, every disc does a different thing. So it's kind of cool, like learning once you get a new one. With Discraft, they send out test flights, so the only people that get it is the team.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool, like throwing a disc that only the team's throwing and only a certain people are throwing, and you get to see how it flies, and you're like, okay, I can see this using for this shot and forehand, backhand, all this kind of stuff. So it's kind of cool.
Sweet. So what's next for you? When's your next tournament? Where's your next tournament?
Next one's next weekend in Kentucky. I'm playing Thaw Out Throwdown. It's a little B tier down there, and has about $2,500 added cash. So there's a pretty good paycheck at the end for first. So it's just to get a couple tournaments under my belt, and then I go a B tier, an A tier, and then I'm down for a major, which it'll be my first major. So it's like the World Championships, but it's called Champions Cup down in Georgia.
Oh, wow.
So I'm really excited for that, for my first major, and to see how I can, I guess, compete against some of those guys.
So you went to Texas last weekend. You got Kentucky coming up next weekend, and then that big tournament in Georgia. Where's going to be your furthest tournament you're going to go to?
Vermont,
really?
for Worlds. I get to go up to trying to think. It's trying to think of the name of it. It's in Vermont. I know that it's this resort, and there's two on like one separate side of the road. There's one course, and on the other side of the course, it's a different course, and they're completely different. But it's disc golfer's paradise is what they call it.
Really?
Everybody says you have to go to Vermont. You have to go to Vermont. Have to. And I told myself I really wanted to go this year, and I want to make the trek, and I know I got some buddies I can house with, so I'm definitely very excited for Vermont.
Nice. That's awesome. When will that be?
I think that's August 26th, something around there. It's late August, of course. I think I literally go back to college for 1 week, and then I'm a week gone in Vermont. So
wow,
will be fun. But
oh, for sure. Now, there's a lot, like when you look at Ohio State with football, like they leave early and stuff like that. Is that ever in your mind, or do you want to finish out school while doing this?
Yeah, I want to finish out school just to have it done and over with, so I can put my full focus in the disc golf and see like job-wise, and maybe something that I can pick up like during summertime when I'm home, or like if I'm traveling out west, like I can do something mobile or something like that. But
okay,
I definitely want to finish it out, and I know my parents have been pushing me because I really want to take the semester off, but they were like, you got to get done. You got to get it done. It's just so you don't have the weight of doing schoolwork or pushing it off, because I feel like if I push it off, I'm not going to get back to it.
Yeah.
Type of thing. So.
Yep, I feel that. All right, we got time for one final question, then we'll wrap up with you, Nate. If you were able to to bring a tournament here to Bellefontaine, would you, and why?
I definitely want to. The old golf course out by 33, huge. I really want to put a course there and bring a big tournament there because I know you could definitely. There's so much land, but I feel like people just need to see the flight of a disc just to see it and go, okay, I want to buy one and then have fun because I feel like once you just get hooked, it's just you can't stop. So that's really why I kind of want to see, and I want to see what people, I guess, see through my eyes in a way how much fun disc golf is and it can bring people together.
All right, Nate, thank you so much for taking time out of your spring break and coming
good.
out and being a part of Chalk Talk here, and good luck next weekend in Kentucky.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Nate Hecker, a local pro disc golfer here in Bellefontaine. Yeah, pro disc golfer here in Bellefontaine. Pretty awesome stuff. That'll do it for this segment. We'll be back, talk some robotics with Benjamin Logan. That is next here on Chalk Talk, live at PeakofOhioTV.com.
Hello, Benjamin Logan community. I'm Deputy Rick Herring. Along with my colleagues, Deputies Matt Robinson and Neil Rhodes, I'm very excited to be a part of the new day here at Benjamin Logan. The three of us have been entrusted with helping keep your children safe, and it's a responsibility we all take seriously. The year is off to a great start, so let's keep it going. Be kind, be safe, and be proud to be a Raider.
Benjamin Logan, more than a school, a community.
Check out what's hot at Ron's Pizza in Bellefontaine. On top of pizzas, they have subs, sandwiches, salads, and lots of sides like breadsticks, garlic cheese bread, pickle chips, beer battered onion rings, loaded fries, and more. Check out a specialty pizza this weekend. Ron's Pizza is ready to cook for you. Call 292-7775 or stop by and dine in on South Main Bellefontaine. See more and a menu online at Ron's Pizza's Facebook page.
I'm Tyler Avila, joined along with the Benjamin Logan Robotics team and their advisor, Mr. Smith. Thanks for coming out, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
So, first of all, Mr. Smith, how long have you been the advisor for this great club?
So this is my third year running the robotics. I used to run the tech in the entire district, and about 4 years ago shifted over to teaching, and with that came these guys.
So talk about your experiences these last 3 years being a part of this.
So it's been really great to watch them grow. These guys actually were my first year, except for Matt. Claire came last year, but she's older too. So, but it's been really cool because they've kind of grown from a team that we just kind of kept on life support for a while. It was just like, we're going to have this, but we're not going to invest a lot into it. And then Mrs. Kavanaugh and myself kind of took over. She has a history at North Union of running robotics. And so we kind of joined up and decided that we were going to make it more than just, an after school. They can come hang out. We put some format to it and kind of started investing more into it. And so it was really cool to watch them grow from a robot that literally didn't run in some of the matches to now we had a successful year, and we actually ended up going to state last weekend. So we qualified to go to state.
Yeah, we posted that earlier this week on PeakofOhio.com that you guys competed there. It was at Hobart Arena in Troy. Talk about that experience being at that state competition.
Well, these three were there, so I'd like to let them tell their experience of that. They're the ones who were down on the field. Matt's our driver. Cameron was right there on the field too, and Claire kind of runs more of the administrative stuff. So, it was awesome for us to just watch them, but they're the ones who really got to play the game. So. All
right. Well, I love you. I'll let you leave the headset on, so in case you want to chime in. Who wants to go first? Claire. All right. Does anybody want to bring the robot up here? We can put it on the table. All right, Claire. If I can have you take a seat right there in the middle. So Mr. Smith said that you're kind of like the administrator or out there on the floor. So just talk about what your role is and how you help the team out there on the floor with the robot.
So I'm one.
Let me see. Yeah, that is on.
So I'm one of the 3 members of our admin team right now.
Green button. Hit the green button on the thing. Hit the green button. On the microphone. Hit the green button for her because I can't hear in my headset. All right. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. So I'm one of the 3 members of our admin team. Last year was my first year with it, and so we kind of do a lot of like background work. We record everything, and we kind of we do like our engineering notebook, keeping track of everything, making sure that like everything we've done is put down, and that if like if something were to happen with our robot right now, we are able to build it right back up, and that way like we know everything that's been going on. We keep track of fundraising. We keep track of basically everything that's going on in the club.
Oh, wow. So you're in charge of a lot, it seems like. What made you join?
I did FLL in middle school, which is similar, but you do like a Lego type robot. And I did that for 3 years in middle school, and so that made me want to join in high school and see what it was like, and I really like it. So
Interesting. So with all this, you have to have a passion for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So where does your passion fall? Is it with helping with the robot, or kind of the behind the scenes, that administrator role like you explained?
I really like helping out like behind the scenes. Being like in front of everybody is not really like my thing, but being able to like be a part of it and like have an important role still is really cool, and I really like that.
All right, Claire, so what grade are you in?
I'm a junior this year.
All right. And so being a junior, season, at least for the FTC team, the Robotics Club, you guys are preparing for nationals in April. Are you helping with that aspect of things too, or?
I'm not in NRC this year. I'm gonna try and have a part of it because I'm also president of the club, and so
Okay.
I'm gonna try and still be involved, even though I'm not gonna be competing. So
Yeah, the National NRC, the National Robotics Challenge is actually a different contest.
Okay.
Completely. So it's a different team, and actually Hayden and Matt compete in that. That one is, instead of a large robot like we have here, that does one game that we have a bunch of people working on, we have individuals or small groups that are working on a number of different events. They get to choose. And so Matt's going to be doing a rescue robot that has to go through. Well, he can tell you about that in a little bit. And then Hayden does they have plastic 3D printed combat robots.
Oh, wow.
So like battle bots type
No
things.
way. That's sweet. All right, cool. All right, I'm going to write that down before I forget. BattleBots Rescue. That's pretty sweet. All right. Claire, what would you like to see happen next year with the Robotics Club? Because it seemed like it's been growing the last couple of years.
So definitely want to make it to state again. I want to make that a usual thing to expect from us. I'd like to do more outreach things. Being a part of admin, I really like all the outreach things that we do as a team, and I want to do more of those, like connecting with our school, and just overall just stuff like that.
Okay. So when you talk about outreach, is it more or less like getting the school to know about you guys, or like trying to get more people to come and join? So kind of explain that outreach part.
So outreach, we try and get the school to know. Like for example, we do like an 8th grade day, which is coming up in May. That gets all the incoming freshmen to know about our club. I want to make sure our people currently in the high school know about our club, because I didn't join my freshman year. And so even though I knew about it ahead of time, there are people who I'm sure don't know that we have like our club exists.
Mm-hmm.
And the 8th grade day is a really big resource for us to gain new people. Since we started doing it, our numbers have kind of gone up.
Oh, nice.
And so I'd like to do that. I'd like to know like people not in our school, like parents, grandparents, people who just like know Ben Logan and like the things we do and support our school. I'd like them to know as well. Just anybody who'd like to know. So just more things like that, meaning outreach.
All right, awesome. Claire, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, who wants to go next?
I guess I can.
All right. And your name is, sir?
Matthew.
Matthew, all right. So, if I remember correctly, Mr. Smith said you're the driver, right?
Yep.
Okay, so talk about what you do out there as a driver when you guys are out competing.
Well, I mean, for driving, it's really about managing all of the random things that happen during the match.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you'll have things completely fall apart. A couple times we had this string just snap in the middle of
no.
a match. That's always real fun because we were terrible at pushing things. But that's pretty rare since we switched to this 300-pound line over from, I think the old stuff was 30 and 50.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been having to fix a lot of issues. And since I lead the build team too, I'm the one who usually is fixing the stuff.
So what about Robotics Club intrigues you? Why did you join? Why are you part of it?
I kind of joined just because it sounded fun.
Yeah.
I'm doing it because I just like building things, really.
Okay. So off of that, you like building things. What would you like to do with that once you're out of high school, maybe college? What would you like to see your career be?
I mean, recently I've been looking at like going into machining.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe, well, probably specialized in gunsmithing, just because that's the kind of stuff I'm interested in.
Okay. So walk me through. You're driving the robot, and say something breaks. So how are you able to get out there and fix it?
Well, when something breaks, usually we can do things still in the match. Like we just have to change strategy a little bit sometimes till we can get the end of the match, and then we rush it out into the pits and fix that real quick. Usually it's something pretty quick.
Okay. So being at the state competition last weekend, what was it like for you?
Stressful. Didn't
Why so?
Yeah, we had a lot of new issues. Say, the wire, this one right here, kind of broke.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. At least that was in the last match, though. Well, maybe at least. Well, I had to fix that up real quick, make sure it worked. But I can't understate this. I really hate fixing wires without solder.
Yeah? Is it a pain?
Absolutely.
There's only so much we can do with duct tape, right?
That's fair.
Well,
that is fair.
Electrical tape, but still.
So what exactly does your robot do?
So, Cameron, you want to grab a cone real quick? I think we have a few on the cart. So, Cameron, never mind. We're good. All right, so for the game this year, we have to put these cones on posts.
Okay.
Some of them are about 1.5 feet to 3 feet. Then we get these. The intake here grabs it from the top. Then this arm lifts it to the heights we need them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, ever since we switched that motor out, it's been going pretty fast, too.
Do you have the remote to turn it on?
You want to grab that real quick? It might take a while to connect, but we'll see if we can get it.
That's fine. We got about 6 minutes. We can
Right.
try to get it on. It'd be nice to have a demonstration. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, placing the cone. So, what's the highest height that you can get it?
Oh, the highest height we need it to be is about 3 feet.
Okay.
We can get it about 40 something.
Oh,
still.
wow. All right. So, as we're trying to get this thing connected, Matthew, talk about those rescue bots.
Oh yeah, the rescue robot. It's really just you've gotten off-road, and then you get a ping pong ball off of something that's pretty similar to this, then bring it back to some storage thing.
Yeah.
I'm still figuring out how I'm gonna do that ping pong ball.
Well, so, what grade are you in, buddy?
I'm a sophomore.
Sophomore? Okay. Sophomore. So this is year 2
Yep.
for you? So what have you learned throughout these last 2 years being a part of this club?
Well, I mean, I've definitely learned how to use this equipment for one. But then, since I'm leading the build team, I've had to get a lot better with delegation and, well, leadership in general. Can't say I was great at that before I joined up Robotics.
All right. Well, would you like to, once we get this thing rolling, would you like to kind of commentate how things are, or would you want to move on to one of your other teammates?
I think probably give them a little bit of time.
All right. Who wants to come on next?
Here, I'll go.
All right. And can I get your name again, buddy?
So, my name is Hayden.
All right, Hayden. Oh, we got more stuff to show.
Yeah, so I'm part of the combat robot.
Okay.
So,
Can I see that real quick?
yeah. So combat robot is a NRC competition. So there's metal and there's plastic. So I decided to do plastic because just because we have a lot of 3D printers.
Yep.
And that's something I'm interested in.
Interesting. So what's the perk of Benjamin Logan having 3D printers?
The perk is that, so he teaches classes that show you how and demonstrate how to 3D print and how to 3D design, so that it enables kids to be able to then have their creation that was on their computer in their hand.
Nice, nice. So you're part of the NRC, correct?
I am.
So just kind of talk about how different that is compared to what they do.
So NRC is basically the Olympics
Okay.
of robot competition. So there are many different challenges that NRC puts on, and I participate in the combat robot. There's rescue robot. There's hockey bot.
Oh wow!
So there's a lot. It's just more variety and more solo teams. So,
Interesting. Okay. So Hayden, why did you join the robotics club?
I really enjoy. I'm hands-on. I learn hands-on. So it's been an interest of mine too.
So what grade are you in?
I'm a junior.
Junior. Okay. We got another junior here on the team. What would you like to see this provide you? Maybe once you graduate high school and college, or maybe down the road and in the workforce. What would you like this to take you?
So definitely the engineering or computer science field. Just the hands-on experience, first-hand experience on this type of deal.
Okay. All right. Hayden, thank you so much. Let's get to Cameron.
All right.
All right, Cameron. You want to do a little color commentating? Want to talk about what's going on right now?
Sure. So at the moment, Matt here is he's just using the controller to demonstrate how we can pick it up here.
Oh, wow.
And this is just one portion of a typical match. This is usually the latter half. Matches for us typically start off with an autonomous section, which I demonstrate to you now, but it would drive off the table. So
yeah, we don't want that.
We shouldn't do that now.
Yeah, we don't want that.
But yeah, that's typically what I do. So I'm a programmer this year. So I assisted in coding the autonomous section of this. I've also done the object detection stuff for the cone that we have over there. So this year, for our this game, there are sleeves that you can make and read to park to a proper position. And by doing that, you can get more points.
Okay.
And so we decided to do that. And I spent the earlier half of this year working on this to get this to detect it. So it's the first time I've had to do something like this, and it's been an interesting experience, and I feel I've learned a lot from that.
So what did you learn? You said you learned a lot. What did you learn from this experience?
Well, for one, we've learned to use sensors like webcams and such, which is something we haven't really done in a while.
Yeah.
So that's for one, and I've also learned the best ways to sort of go about programming this sort of a thing. So
what grade are you in, buddy?
Sophomore.
Sophomore. Okay. So being a sophomore and learning programming, how does that going to benefit you later on down in life?
I do plan on choosing programming as my profession.
Really?
Yes. So not so specific as to what group or area, but programming of some kind for sure.
Nice.
And so that this parallels that a lot for my future.
So you talked about doing programming this year. What was your task last year?
Last year I was a builder, so I was kind of a helper there. I did setup and stuff, and I was on the team, like for the drive team, and that's mostly what I did that year. Since I came in kind of late, so I wanted to try out all things before I decided on what I would do.
Oh, nice. Okay. Why should people join?
It's an interesting experience for sure. Fun games, fun people. You'll learn a lot that you can carry through with you into life after high school. So there's a lot of unique experiences that you can get here that you couldn't get elsewhere.
Nice. All right, Cameron, thank you so much. All right, guys. Thank you all for coming out and showing off your robot and demonstrating what it can do. That's pretty awesome. I always enjoy having things that you can see here on the show. So the NRC challenge is in April, correct? So any estimate on when and where?
It is April 13th through 15th. It's at the Marion County Fairgrounds, the Memorial Coliseum out there, and they run different events on different days. So it is open to the public. I think it's like $5 to get in, but there's lots of stuff going on and just lots of different things. We'll have people there both days, and then the third day is if we do well enough, that's the finals for some of these events. So.
Awesome. Guys, thanks for coming out. Claire, thanks for coming out. I appreciate it, and good luck with the NRC competition.
All right, thank you. Thanks
You're
for
welcome.
having us.
You're welcome. Benjamin Logan Robotics here on Chalk Talk. We'll take a quick break and talk some track as we get ready to preview the track season coming up here around the area with Bellefontaine's distance runners. That is next here on Chalk Talk at PeakofOhioTV.com.
The weekend should be for relaxing, and that means no cooking. Check out what's hot at Ron's Pizza in Bellefontaine. On top of pizzas, they have subs, sandwiches, salads, and lots of sides like breadsticks, garlic cheese bread, pickle chips, beer battered onion rings, loaded fries, and more. Check out a specialty pizza this weekend. Ron's Pizza is ready to cook for you. Call 292-7775 or stop by and dine in on South Main Bellefontaine. See more and a menu online at Ron's Pizza's Facebook page.
Hello, Benjamin Logan community. I'm Deputy Rick Herring. Along with my colleagues, Deputies Matt Robinson and Neil Rhodes, I'm very excited to be a part of the new day here at Benjamin Logan. The three of us have been entrusted with helping keep your children safe, and it's a responsibility we all take seriously. The year is off to a great start, so let's keep it going. Be kind, be safe, and be proud to be a Raider.
Benjamin Logan, more than a school, a community.
PeakofOhioTV.com. I know we're running a little behind, but we started a little later than normal. Oh, Davis. Oh, my goodness. Take your jacket off. Oh, Mr. Davis. All right, well, I'm going to start with you. What is your name, sir?
My name's Max Farner.
All right, Max. All right. As Davis is trying to figure out the headset, he's got to put it on backwards like he always does. It's the wrong way. Turn around.
Remember, I'm deaf in one ear.
I know.
Laughing at a handicap
All right,
person.
so we got mid-distance and distance here, right? So,
Well,
Max,
actually, the mid-distance distance kids pooped out on me, so
Oh.
I recruited sprinter.
so we got sprinters.
I recruited the top of the heap of the Central Buckeye Conference here, and Kaylin Oregon, and then Max Varner's more middle distance sprint, and he's a senior, Kaylin's a junior, and then we have Seth Taylor, a representative from the distance squad. Seth's a junior.
And what was Mr. Oregon's?
Kaylin's a junior, and he had the opportunity to participate at the state indoor meet.
Okay.
Missed the finals by 100th of a second.
Oh, wow.
He played basketball the whole season, and right at the end of basketball season, Henry Sully said, sure, you're going to have him, and he missed the finals at the state indoor meet by 100th of a second. So
Oh, wow.
he's got wheels. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it. It sounds like it. We'll definitely talk to him about those wheels he has. Max, we'll hold off for you right now as Davis finally figured out the headset. But how long has it been? It's close to 30, right? If not over?
30 what?
30 years coaching.
Dude, I've coached 37 years.
So we're close to 40. All right, all right.
Yeah.
So 37 years, why do you stay?
Honestly, foremost, I've got a phenomenal coaching staff.
Yep.
The people we have, I mean, we have 4 sprint coaches that work with a very different jumps and hurdles and such. And then I have one of my former runners coaches with me, middle distance, and Coach J. Rob's done it since I think 99, 98.
Yeah, he's been there a long time.
And we just have a phenomenal coaching staff. And then all I have to do is all the behind the scenes stuff, make sure the entries are on time, paperwork, all that stuff. So technically, I don't have to know a blaming thing about track and field, and then the kids. You know, when you see kids improve and develop, that's exciting. And you see kids buy into what you know and you're trying to convey to them. That's exciting. I mean, it's fun to see kids develop and reach their potential. That's great.
Oh, for sure. Now, your first meet is when? It's coming up soon, right?
It would be 2 weeks from yesterday.
Okay.
2 weeks from yesterday. So whatever that is.
28th. So
Yeah,
Tuesday.
at home versus Kenton and whoever else wants to jump in. Yeah.
So you're starting out the season with a home meet, and I know we talked last year. You had what, like 3 home track meets or something?
We had
like
too many.
So how many do you have this year?
Not as many, because to host a track meet, you need pretty much 30 parent volunteers if you count concessions, and it just got to be a little bit too much. Yeah. Because the parents never got a chance to watch their own student athletes.
Right.
And so we don't have as many this year, but we're still hosting the league again.
Oh, wow.
Back-to-back years, we're hosting the league. Ben Logan was supposed to host it, but May 1st or so they're turning their track up to redo everything. So then our AD volunteered us again. Yep.
Oh, Kami.
Yep. Thank you, Matt Comstock. Thank you. Yeah.
So, okay, well, I'm sure it was probably up for grabs, though, right, since Benjamin Logan wouldn't be able to host it?
Yeah, I mean, technically they're supposed to go in alphabetical order. So so I would have thought, you know, they deferred to the next school like Graham. I think they're after the Bees.
Yeah.
And then maybe Lake, Kenton Ridge, therefore, or down the road. And so sometimes it's just whoever shoots their hand up in the air.
I guess so.
You know?
guess so. But it's always fun hosting league, though, right? Isn't it?
Still need those 30 parent volunteers.
Right.
And in concessions for people. Yeah, it's still a job.
It is. It is.
Maybe not as many volunteers because they don't do both boys and girls high jump the same day like our other meets. But it's still there's still things to do to host things.
So if I'm looking at it correctly, you'll have your home meet in a couple weeks on the 28th. You have the Chieftain relays as you always do, and then the league meets. So at least 3 home meets, right?
And I don't think we host the county meet. Not this year, but we host another like quad. It's a 5-team meet with like Calvary's going to be able to show up around the 1st of April.
Okay.
Like the first week of April, maybe like April 5th to 10th, somewhere through there. And then so not as many. Last year Chieftain Relays is 10-team meet, so
that's a bear.
Yeah, and then you gotta hope the weather cooperates.
Yeah, it's been very interesting here these last couple weeks with this weather, and I'm sure it's probably been difficult for you guys to get outside, right?
The distance kids practice outside every single day.
Yeah, they're used to it by now.
The sprinters, you know, their muscles are a little bit on the ouchy side, so sprinters find things to do inside occasionally.
Yeah,
they do. But the distance kids are outside every day. Like Monday we were outside, Tuesday we were outside this week. And they prefer that. They actually do.
Yeah. So talk about this team. Well, what's different about this team this year that you can tell than last year?
You know, track and field's a different dynamic because everybody goes, how are you going to be? And honestly, you don't always know because anybody can do track and field. You could insert 1 or 2 kids that never did it before, but they're highly talented, and just plug them in, and all of a sudden – you're a district champ, you know, if you got the other kids to go around it. So a lot comes down to who actually goes out. We're always solid. Like we should place top 2 in the league on both boys and girls side. So it just comes down to do we have all the pieces in place to win, and that's usually how things are every year. Now on our girls side, we probably have more state caliber individually athletes, so we might do better at the regional district level than the county meet. You know what I'm saying? Because of how the nature of points are, you know. And the boys side will be right in there to try to vie for a league championship. We have to develop in areas that we have situations like Solly Ashcraft had surgery on his shoulder, and he's a bona fide beast when it comes to throws.
Oh, yeah.
So whether he can get back in the swing of things later in the season, because right now he's kind of off limits.
Yeah.
And those are key things. We on the boys' side, our strength would probably be, I would say, the sprints. Definitely the sprints, because they basically won the league in the 4x1, 4x2, 4x4 with one little mishap last year. But they would have won 2 years in a row. So we're solid with sprints. Same kids. Harper Scott's here at Ron's working back there. So he's one of our sprinters along with these guys too. Girls' side, strength, sprints, and jumps. Kylie Adams, state runner-up in indoor track, almost jumped 18 feet. You have Ava in there with sprints. Callie Shoemaker in there with the sprints. Kelsey Snap, who did great in middle school throws, who's a freshman this year. And so on the girls' side, it'll be, can the distance girls contribute some points?
Yeah.
Those are the type of things that determine whether you win a league championship or not. It'll be fun. It'll take everybody in all aspects. Boys' side, Colin Deich had shoulder surgery, and so he's pretty much out the whole year. He's going to go to Ashland to be a wide receiver, and then Carter Snap had a messed up foot all through basketball, and but it looks like Carter might be able to contribute. He did go out for track, so they both were our long jumper, high jumpers last year. So there's a lot of contributing factors in track and field.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's not just one thing. You have different things with sprints, distance, mid-distance, and all the field events. So let's talk to your kids here. Let's start with Max. He's right here in the middle with the microphone, mid-distance runner. So being a senior this year, what would you like to see, obviously with the team, but maybe yourself, what would you like to see be accomplished this year?
Honestly, I'm just looking to get a PR. I don't think I'm going to hit any of the high set goals that I had set for myself when I first entered the track, but I was hitting my barrier with the lactic acid buildup. I'm kind of around the same area time-wise on my events, so trying to knock it down as much as I can, just contribute to the team in the relays as best as I can.
So what events are you, will you be in this year?
I mean, they kind of use me for whatever. Normally, I'll run the Open 400, the Open 200, the 4x4, and the 4x2. But, I mean, Coach Davis will throw me in the 4x8 if they need somebody. I mean, I can also kind of do some more distance runs.
What would you prefer?
I don't like any of them, so I just run whatever.
His dad makes him his punishment. Randy Varner, that's his name.
So you don't like any of it. So why are you running track?
I mean, it's just the social atmosphere, just being our coaches are they're all I mean, not all of them are young, but they're just all upbeat people. I mean, they're just excitable to be with. I mean, the players are fun to be around. So I mean, putting in the hard work and being able to show that talent that we've worked for is worth it when you get to hang out with friends and experience that.
Oh, for sure. So, I mean, I guess going through the pain of running all that, I mean, the sprints, I would not want to do the sprints. I'm a distance runner at heart, but I'm sure the sprinters would be like, I don't want to run all that distance. But I can understand. Track and field is such a huge team. And Davis and I were just kind of talking about it because there's so many people, right? If you had to pick a field event to try out, maybe last meet, maybe kind of a throwaway, small meet that you guys have later in the year, what would you like to try and why?
Oh, I probably would want to try long jump. I've done high jump before, and I wasn't really that good at it. And I also once jumped over, and I completely missed the pit, and I landed on a wooden pallet, so that kind of hurt. So.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
At least there's sand padding on long jump.
That there is. Just make sure it's not hard after a rain and it dries. That wouldn't be fun. Oh. So long jump is what you would try. Interesting. Okay. What can this team accomplish this year? I know it's early, but what can I accomplish?
I honestly see a lot of potential in our team. We lost, we didn't lose a ton, but we did lose a couple key people for our field events last year. But I see a lot of talent. Some of the people that ran just B team for us last year, they put in the work, but they weren't there yet. They came back this year and just they're up here with all the top runners in our class. I mean, that was really surprising, to be honest. They're really fast this year, and we got some good freshmen coming up. And we've already dealt with some injuries so far this year, which is kind of unfortunate.
Yeah.
But I definitely think we'll be able to pull through and do some pretty good work here on the track field.
So having Coach Davis as a coach, I've had him as a coach for a couple of years. What's it like being around him?
I mean, you never know what's going to happen.
You're not wrong.
I mean, it's like we'll be getting ready for a break, and everybody's about to go, and we have like our kid's Nick. He's a senior with us, and he normally gets our break for us. Then coach will come over, push him out of the way. He's like, "You're not in charge here." He's like, he'll all yell at us, "Get your final forms done. You need to be able to get that done if you want to run." And he trying to corral us all and get us in line. It's kind of funny.
So this is, I think, year 37, right, what you said. So with him being in the coaching field that long, what makes him so good?
He just knows what he's talking about. It's like somebody that you can trust. Like when they tell you, like, we need to do these, like, cool downs or warm-ups and, like, making sure that we're all doing stuff right. I mean, they've seen this for many, many years, so they know what they're talking about.
All right, Max, thanks for coming out. Good luck this year.
Yep.
All right, who wants to go next? All right, Kaylin Organ. You in pajamas? Got to be comfortable, I guess, right?
So it matches your top.
It does, yes, yes. So playing basketball, the tournament comes to an end for you guys on the court, then you are able to get out and be a part of indoor track. Yeah. So, and you missed the finals by, what was it, like a second or a hundredth of a second. So what was going through your mind, not really doing much with indoor track and then missing it by that small amount?
I mean, I was mad at myself. I thought that I should have put more work into track. If I was able to do that.
Yeah.
And 3 meets, because I only had 3 meets.
That is nuts, man.
Able to do that, I feel like I should have put more work into it, and I would have got into the finals.
3 meets. What event was it in?
The 60 meter.
60 meter. Okay. But you had 3 meets under your belt and you missed it by that much. That is one. That just shows how great of an athlete you are. First of all, that's awesome. But how did you build up to that? I mean, you're a junior now. How did you get to where you are competition-wise to only have 3 meets and miss it by that much?
Honestly, I don't.
Hard work, right?
No.
Kaylin improved so much last year.
Yeah.
As a sophomore.
All I gotta say, Cody Siggers. That's all you gotta know.
Coach Sig.
Coach Sig, that's all you gotta know.
And then behind the scenes, you have 45-year veteran Larry Young, the general.
That is true. That is true.
You talk about my 37 years. He's got me beat by 8. So.
Yeah, Coach Young's been there a long time. I think Coach Sig started when I was still in school, right?
10 years ago, I think he said.
Yeah, roughly around that time when I was still in. So having a coach who's been there that long, and really it seems like the entire staff's been there for a long time.
Yeah.
You have Zoe Price, though, new, right?
Yeah, Zoe's new.
She's helping out.
Helping us. And Stacy Wilson, she's on our school record for 4x8. She works with me. And then we have Richard McDaniel, our school record holder in the 100 this year. So we've got our school record holder in the 100 on our staff this year.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So hearing that, Kaylin, just having all those record holders when they were in your guys' shoes and running track, having them now come back and coach and help you guys, what does that mean to you?
It means a lot. It helps a lot because they know what they're talking about because they've done it.
Right.
And even if they didn't do it, they know. They've been there for too long that they know.
That is true. That is true. So what would you like to accomplish this year in outdoor track?
At least one record. I got to get one. I'm right there.
What record?
200.
The 200? 200. All right. I'm gonna.
And that would be beating Coach Agler was our track coach, and then this spring he couldn't do it. So that'd be Coach Agler's record. Yeah. So there we have another coach in the mix. So he's trying to beat Coach Agg's record. I think it's 21.93, 21.98, 21.93.
21.93.
All right. How close were you last year?
I ran a 22. What was it? It was a low 22. I think.
He'll be close.
All right. Well, I'll be rooting for you. What would you like to see the team accomplish?
Win it all.
Win it all. League or state or be more
league for sure.
Yeah.
League for sure.
Let's start with league.
I have confidence that we're going to win league. We have a lot of talent on this team.
All right. All right. Well, I will definitely be paying attention to how you guys are running. Kalen, thank you so much. All right, let's get to Seth. I know we're running a little close to time here. All right, Seth. Another junior on this track and field team. What events are you in, buddy?
I'm in the mile and the 2 mile, and I'll probably be thrown in 4x8s and 4x miles when they're needed.
You said 4x8s and the 4x mile?
Yeah.
So you were straight distance there. Talk about how you're going to attack this season for track.
So for track and indoor, for me, they're more of a focus for cross, and that's like how I'm going to treat this. It's mostly a lot of practice, a lot of time in over the winter and the spring, but of course I want to hit as best as I can, do as best as I can, get as many personal records for myself as I can, and then help the team where it's needed for points.
I feel that aspect in things because when I was in high school running cross country, that was my main sport. I honestly only did track just to stay in shape for cross country in the fall. And I feel like that's every distance runner's mindset, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you disagree, Coach?
Yeah, I have kids that are they like track more than cross country.
Okay.
Yeah, they're tracksters like Corey Mel and I'm thinking of kids throughout the years that track was their thing, but they did cross country maybe to help them for track.
Probably.
I'm the opposite. I do track for cross.
So, kind of having that mindset, and you said you still want to put in the work and still succeed. But how many of the cross country guys, because you guys had a really great year this year, are on that track team and trying to improve for next season?
So number wise, we don't have as many. We lost. Of our varsity, we lost a couple to tennis and a couple, one actually switched to throwers, Gavin Wilson. But for our top three solid of me, Tony Stewart, and Hayden Moss, we all came from cross, and we're all here at the core to fight for the distance team.
So running the mile, 2 mile, 4x8, and 4x16, which one's your favorite and why?
2 mile.
Really?
As much distance as possible. I don't like the faster.
Interesting. I would prefer the mile. I hated the 2 mile because at times I just forget what lap I'm on. I mean, it's 8 times around the track. It's like, am I on 7th or 8th? Okay. What are you shooting for time-wise in the 2 mile?
As fast as possible.
Okay, a little bit more specific. What range?
So in indoor, I was a couple seconds off of breaking the 10-minute barrier, and the 11-minute barrier, I'm sorry. I'd like to break into 10s. With mile, I'd like to break into the 4s.
Oh, wow, okay. What can this team accomplish? What can the distance team accomplish?
The distance team could accomplish a lot this year. We lost a good deal of seniors last year, but we gained just as much in talent and in new people. Hayden Moss he's one of our freshmen. He's still one of our best. We got to cut a lot of more mid-distance people than I thought we would. We're strong at the core, and we have the ability to score a good amount of points this year.
All right, Seth, good luck this year in track.
Thank you.
All right, guys, thanks for coming out. The home meet is on Tuesday, March 28th against Kenton, right?
Yes, and a shout-out to Harper Scott, our sprinter back there, one of our best sprinters on the team working at Ron's Pizza. So, yes, Harper Scott, yes. Yeah, here's Harper Scott. Maybe he'll show his mug.
Come over here,
there's
Harper.
Harper. He's working at Ron's Pizza. We thank Ron's. But Harper's one of our best 2. He's like the top 2 sprinter on our team. So thank you, Harper. Say something, Harper.
All right, hold on. I got to turn the mic on. I thought we were done here. All right.
Hi, guys.
All right. Harper, thanks for coming out from the back here.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thanks for coming out. I appreciate it. Good luck this track season. And I'm sure we'll be having you on throughout the rest of the year.
Thank you, Tyler.
Here on Chalk
Thank
Talk.
you,
You're welcome.
Peak of Ohio and Ron's Pizza. Yes.
All right, guys, thanks so much. Thank you for watching. Thanks for Lou stepping behind the camera and producing things here on a short notice. Gary's out doing a trivia thing at High Point with the rest of the VTech crew, so hopefully they are having fun tonight. Thanks to all of our guests coming out. And thanks for letting me be your host here on Chalk Talk. Thanks for Ron's for being a great host as well. We'll be back next week. Great show lined up. Still looking for one more spot to fill, but we got Bellefontaine baseball and Benjamin Logan baseball scheduled for Chalk Talk next week. And that's when I'll see you again here at PeakofOhioTV.com. Have a great night and take care.